Hey everyone, this is Sierra again, and I'm here with my weekly video, and I did mine on what is a Nazirite. And this topic kind of it stood out to me a little bit because of recently what's been going on in the news about the new same-sex policy that the church is, I guess, put out in the handbook or whatever. Haven't done too much study on it, but if you're a part of social media, I'm sure that you've read or seen multiple comments about this, and I kind of thought that this went along with a lot of people's issues. I have non-Mormon friends who are upset, and then I have a lot of members that are really upset with this, and I like how that. What is a Nazirite? They vowed with these certain covenants, they're not going to cut their hair, they don't drink wine or strong drinks, can't be around dead bodies, and that they followed these rules because they needed to be separated from the world. And I think that we have to ask ourselves, are we separating ourselves from the world? And if you look even at the history of most of God's people, they're not really well liked and loved by the world. A lot of people are judgmental and think that their views and beliefs are not correct and are wrong. And I feel like, we're seeing a lot of that in our society today, not just with Mormonism, but any type of Christianity is really kind of demonized and looked down upon. And I think that you have to kind of understand that that's normal, and that's maybe a good thing, that to be separated from the world. We're not supposed to be pleasing the world and making these policies and statements to make everyone happy. It's what the Lord wants. And I know that there's a lot of debate in what that may be, but I think that's a lot of where our faith has to come into, and where we have to ask ourselves, are we willing to be obedient? And I also thought it was interesting in accordance to kind of what we're asked as students at the university to comply to, which is the honor code. And I thought it was interesting reading the student manual that it said that these vows, sometimes they were practiced throughout life, but sometimes they were just for a short time. And a lot of people, again, have issues with the honor code. They're angry that, with a curfew and having to cut their hair, which is kind of ironic, and just different things like that. And in all honesty, it doesn't make complete sense. But to be separated from the world, to really show your dedication to God, you're required to do these things, even if you don't have a complete and full understanding of them. I can't imagine even back then, they didn't maybe necessarily have the education that we do looking back, and we're able to see, oh yeah, that was a smart idea for them not to eat those kinds of meats, or maybe stuff like that, and so that they just kind of had to believe. And I also think it's interesting that when we talk about following Christ, we talk about being the sheep, and that's always a kind of a comment that's used. People of religion are just blind sheep, blind followers, and I guess you can look at it in that way, but in some respects we don't have all the answers, but we follow anyway. And maybe that is the exact right comparison that we're supposed to have, and it's just trusting in the Lord and believing in the things that make us happy and relying on those. And I think that, God knows more than we do and knows what's best for us in this time.